Alright, this little tree is a Cryptomeria, or a Japanese cedar. I bought it in a nursery center for only about $5 or $6. So it's a young stock material, but there is already a bit of a trunk line visible, though it's fully overgrown, so it's hard to say at this point what I'm going to do with it. The steps that I'm following today is, step one is cleaning the tree, so remove all this dead wood, the dead branches, also on the interior of the tree. And I'm not pruning anything else than that. And what this will do is basically reveal the structure of the plant so that I can see the trunk and can see where the main branches are. And then I can start making decisions for the second step, which is choosing the branches to keep and the branches to prune. So in the second step, lots of pruning, really turning this basically bush into a little tree. And then the third step is wiring. That's all I'm doing today. So it's fall right now. It's a very good moment to style this kind of material. But any repotting, so working on the roots, I save that for the next early spring, so 6 months from now. So today, pruning, wiring, and making sure that the tree gets good aftercare. I'll protect it a little bit during the winter. And then come next spring, the tree will be ready to be put in a bonsai container, which will make it look much, much better. But we start with this, and step one is cleaning the tree, so I'm doing that first. So simply removing all the dead parts, anything that's yellow or brown, I'll just prune. Also on the interior of the tree, on the interior of the branches. Alright, so I cleaned up the tree. So this is all the dead stuff that I removed. So the next step is making decisions about which branches to keep and which branches to prune. Now, I've studied the tree from all sides, and I think this would make a nice front, meaning that this could be a first directional branch, and then I need another branch on this side, which is a little bit smaller. So that could be this branch, for example. So using wire, I can bring all these down. And then there's a very thick branch here, which I'm going to prune, simply because it's too big and it's right above the other branch that I decided to keep. So I'm going to remove this branch. And that already opens up the structure of the tree a little bit better. Now if I turn the tree around, there's quite a big branch on the back side, which is the lowest branch on the trunk. And I don't really like that. I think the first branch, the first directional branch should be the lowest branch. So this back branch I'm going to remove as well. All right, spinning it back to the front again. So first branch, second branch, and then the place where this second branch starts, there's a lot of small other stuff, so I'm going to remove that as well. All right, and then on the back side, this rather big branch will be the main back branch, but it's a little bit too big now. So for now, I'm just going to shorten it. All right, with the direction of the trunk going a little bit in this way, this will be the main directional branch. And so actually these branches on this side, I'm going to remove because they're too low on the trunk. So this is the first one. Also removing this branch right here. And this one as well. So I'm leaving small stumps now, but later on with a concave cutter I can prune those away a little bit better. But for now this is fine. Alright, so again, main directional branch, this could be the first side branch, we have a back branch here, and so slowly we'll work our way up the tree, making these kind of decisions.
Deciding on the design of a bonsai isn't always easy, especially when a tree is as full and overgrown as this plant. Try to apply the pruning guidelines we just mentioned to your own trees. And if you are interested to learn more about these techniques, consider enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. Here, expert teachers explain the relevant techniques, and you can ask them questions. For a free lesson, go to bonsaiempire.com/courses.
Alright, so I've finished most of the pruning. It really cleaned up the tree a lot, so I think this, all in all, this is about half of the foliage that I've pruned away, which is fine for a tree that is as healthy as this tree is. Lots of new growth and good color of the foliage, so it will be perfectly fine. For now, I think that most of the pruning is done, so the next step is to put a little bit of wire around these branches, and so that I can set them in position. Also, some of these branches are quite long right now, so by adding some wire around it, I can also add some S-curves in the branch, which will reduce the length of the branch as well. Now, the trunk is quite straight, so I'll try to use it with a thick wire to also bend a little bit with the trunk, especially the upper part of the trunk. I think we'll be able to bend a little bit, but not too much. And so since the trunk isn't moving too much, I don't want the branches to be like completely snaking and showing many S-curves. So the character of the tree and the character of the trunk has to be mimicked in the character of the branches as well. But next step, wiring.
Before we apply the wire, we remove dangling growth and small branches that are growing downwards. This basic cleaning of the branches will make it much easier to wire the tree. Try to select pairs of branches that are more or less of the same thickness, and wire these with one piece of wire. Start with wiring the main branches and slowly work your way up the tree. Smaller and thinner branches need a thinner wire as well.
Alright, so finished wiring all the branches of the tree, but I haven't set them yet in position. The first thing I want to do is bend the trunk. So as you can see, the beginning of the trunk moves in this direction, so that's the main direction of the tree with this branch continuing that flow. So after that point, it would be nice if the trunk can be bent a little bit towards this side. So that's the first thing I'm doing. So the way that I'm bending is I'm putting my thumb on the inside of the curve that I want to create, and then I bend the trunk over that. So just slowly. I can do a little bit more later, but for now that's fine. And then I do the same thing for the branches. So I'm making curves, bending the branches over my finger to make sure that I don't break them. Maybe a little bit more. Alright, so I've finished setting the branches in position, and as you can see, all the branches also have slight S-curves, and that really compacted the tree. So you're looking at the final result for today. All in all, I think I removed more or less half of all the foliage, which really is a lot, and you can only do that on very healthy trees. And I also suggest that you don't repot at the same time. We could do that now, and I think the tree will be fine, but that's mostly because I'm able to provide the tree with perfect aftercare in an unheated greenhouse, for example. But honestly, better for the tree would be is to separate this kind of work, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So today, pruning and wiring, and then in 6 months from now, early spring, I'll place it in a bonsai pot. But for now, the tree will be kept outdoors during the entire winter, and I'll protect it when there's very low freezing temperatures. But other than that, I'll leave the tree. The wire on the branches will probably be removed in the early spring as well, because during the winter it doesn't grow much. But I'll keep a close eye and make sure to remove the wire before it starts to damage the branches. So normal aftercare, normal care during the winter, and then the next step is in the early spring, putting it in a nice bonsai container. But for now, this tree is ready.
Learn how to create your own bonsai trees by enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. We explain techniques like pruning, wiring and repotting, and you can ask questions to the teachers. For the curriculums and free lessons, go to bonsaiempire.com/courses.